Technology-enhanced instructional strategies to support the needs of all learners. Big sentence, but it's actually a pretty simple concept. We as educators need to keep up with technology to support the needs of our learners. A lot of the current tools that we use are called wikis and blogs and web apps, things that don't require great technological education for awesome usefulness. If one or a teacher would like to have discussions that are based after school, before school, during the day, from home for all of the learners, it's quite easy to do with online learning. There's ways for everybody who owns a computer that has a microphone and a webcam to talk to each other all at one time. These are easily monitored, they're easily controlled, and it's easy to reach out to people who may not be able to make it. How many students have the money to get a ride to the airport, get on an airplane, fly across the country to attend a 1 or 2 day seminar, or even more importantly, a seminar that might take weeks? I once did an online course to keep current with my anesthesia techniques, and it was taught by one of the world's most renowned anesthesiologists, and we all attended the video, and this person had a moderator that ran all the computer things, and it reached out to all of us across the country, and there were about 50 of us in the class at one time. So imagine getting one of the greatest minds in anesthesiology to fly to St. Louis to teach 50 people, and then fly that person to Chicago to teach 50 people, and then to Denver, and then Los Angeles, and then Seattle, and then Tampa, and then Atlanta, and New York, and so forth and so on. It would become a very expensive venture. You'd lose a lot of money, and then your anesthesiologist couldn't perform anesthesiology. So with this, we have the ability and the tools to reach out to students in many different ways through several different formats. I had mentioned in PLO2 TED Talks. Anybody can watch any TED Talk that there is. They're free, they're online, they're very entertaining. They have a very strict time limit, so you can get a good chunk of knowledge in a short period of time. It's not going to teach you geometry, trigonometry, biology, or anything like that, but it'll teach you the concepts, and sometimes that's the most important thing, is to first get the concept down. If you watch a 12-minute video about robotics and it leaves you totally disinterested, I would highly recommend that you don't seek out a degree in advanced robotics. However, if you watch the TED Talk about the 3D sun or the 3D universe, then you might want to get into astronomy or something of that nature. So we must provide our students with the body of knowledge that they are most interested in a form that is readily accessible. That's where education is going, and we are going to have to say goodbye to the brick and mortar systems someday. Now, we may keep the brick and mortar systems, but we're going to have a lot more computer classrooms, and once augmented reality sets in and 3D projection sets in and holograms set in, we're going to be able to educate a lot more people in areas that they want to be educated in. Imagine taking a class or a school that has 30 classrooms, and each of those classrooms is not a different subject per se. So in the school I went to, we had a science pod, which had the science, the maths and the biologies, and trigonometry. And then we had the languages pod, which was English, and then French and Spanish and German. And then we had the social studies pod. Imagine not needing that. Imagine going to classes that interest you completely. I took a class in ancient history. It was a college class of ancient history that I took in 10th grade. And it got down to how to mummify people, how the Egyptians mummified people, and I found that extremely fascinating. It kept me interested in the class and helped my GPA in that class, whereas the standard English classes were boring me to tears. So imagine being able to use parts of educational systems that pertain to your interests. Where would your GPA go from there? Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on PLO 4.